Hi and welcome to Living a Handmade Life in Nature. I'm Linda from George Jewellery, and today we're going to make some cushions. The first step is to cut out the fabric for the cushion lining. I'm using an old sheet, worn out in the middle but still perfectly good fabric on the sides. During the war and the Depression, women made new things out of old things. They had to. They sewed kids' clothes out of worn out adults' clothes. We view those times like punishment, those poor people reusing scraps. But actually, I think they were blessed. Those women knew how to look after themselves and their families and be self-sufficient. They weren't relying on shops or handouts or anybody else to look after them. The rewards of a handmade life are sovereignty, strength, ingenuity, creativity, satisfaction, soul nourishment, and so much more. Sew the seams together, leaving an opening to insert the stuffing. Zigzag the edges to stop fraying. You don't always have to go out and buy new things. You can use what you've got. I buy material from the op shop. I've got boxes of fabric that I just keep on hand, so whenever I need to make something, there's something there. Put the stuffing into the cushion cover, fluff it up, and then sew it closed. Then cut out the cushion cover pieces. I'm using upholstery offcuts I've had in a box for years. Sew them together, right sides together. Velvet is slippery, so you may need to pin it sideways and stretch the fabric taut as you sew. Trim the edges after you've stitched, cut off the corners, zigzag the edges, trim off all your loose threads, find a zip the right size. I like to pin the edges down where I'm going to sew the zip and pre-sew it first. It makes it easier when you come to put the zip in. If you haven't used a sewing machine before, there's lots of tutorials and videos on YouTube showing you how to do it. Mostly they're pretty much the same. Just got to follow the arrows in the direction of the thread and then thread your needle and off you go. Putting the zip in can be a bit of a fiddle. Just go slow, take your time, line it all up. As I said, if those edges of the material are sewed down first, it does make it easier. Sometimes opening the zip makes it easier. You can use the scissors to push out the corners of the cushion to make it neat. It's pretty hard to get the sewing machine into the edges where that zip is, so hand sew that little corner closed and the other end too if there's a gap. Put your cushion lining, filled cushion lining into the cover, squish it in. Pull out the zip. Voila, you've got a cushion. If you don't want to put a zip in, you can sew the seam closed with a running stitch. And this just means that you'll be able to wash the cushion with the stuffing inside it, which is fine to do, or you can pull it out. Sometimes in time the stuffing goes lumpy and uneven, so you all match it together. Pull that out. You don't need to throw it out and buy new stuffing. Simply fluff it up and put it back in. Here's some that I've made earlier. This one's got a calico back. This is the one we just made with the velvet backing. And there's another little one which is just the upholstery fabric all the way around. Oh, I love my beautiful new cushions. Join me next time for a reading of the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Red Shoes, which is a great teaching story about the rewards of a handmade life and the dangers of giving up that life. After all, we are all enslaved to our tools, our machines, our technology. all of which was supposed to make our lives easier.